The breaking point. Captain Elena Reyes stood at the viewport of the diplomatic vessel Horizon, watching the glittering spires of the Galactic Consortium's central station. The massive structure hung in space like a jeweled spider, connecting webs of ships and smaller stations. Beautiful, she thought, but no less a trap for its beauty. Behind her, Commander Tariq Hassan reviewed the latest demands on his datapad, his expression growing darker with each swipe. "They've increased resource tributes by another 15%, he said, "and they're demanding oversight of all our colony expansions, including the ones in unclaimed systems." Elena turned from the viewport. After 2 years as Earth's lead representative to the consortium, she had grown used to their arrogance, but this was beyond acceptable. And their justification? The same as always, for the stability and safety of less advanced species. Tariq's voice carried the bitter edge they all felt. "They're not even pretending anymore, Captain. This isn't partnership, it's subjugation." "What does Earth Command say?" Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. Admiral Chen's hologram appeared between them, his weathered face grim. "Captain Rice, we've reviewed the consortium's latest terms. These demands would effectively end human autonomy in space. The Security Council has made a unanimous decision. It's time for Protocol Omega." Elena felt her heart rate quicken. Protocol Omega had been developed as a last resort, a complete and immediate withdrawal from all consortium activities. No negotiation, no warning, just silence. "Is Earth prepared for the consequences?" she asked. "We've been preparing for 3 years," Admiral Chen replied. "Since the day they first laughed at our technology and called us barely spacefaring primates. The network is ready. Our colonies are prepared." Elena nodded. "Then we'll begin immediately." Within an hour, she stood before the Consortium High Council, 12 alien representatives from the founding species. Director Zolteric of the Viridian Collective presided, his crystalline exoskeleton catching the light as he moved. Representatives of Earth, Zolteric's translated voice filled the chamber. "We have reviewed your earlier objections and find them without merit. The new provisions stand. Your signature is required to continue membership." Elena looked around the chamber, noting the dismissive postures of the council members. The Artaxians' tentacles waved lazily. The Juxar representatives didn't even bother to activate their vision organs to look at her. "Director Zolteric, esteemed council members," Elena began, her voice steady. "For 2 years, humanity has attempted to integrate with the consortium in good faith. We have shared our art, culture, and certain technologies. We have participated in your economic system despite unfavorable terms. We have compromised repeatedly." She stepped forward, placing her datapad on the center console. "Earth rejects these new demands. Effective immediately, we are withdrawing from the Galactic Consortium." A ripple of translator clicks and buzzes filled the room as her words registered. Then, incredulous laughter from several council members. "Captain Reyes." Zolteric's voice carried what would be amusement in a human. "Your species has no choice. You lack the technology to defend your territories without our protection. You lack the economic strength to survive without our trade networks. This display of, what do you call it? Bravado. It is pointless." Ambassador Klvosh of the Artaxians flicked a tentacle dismissively. "The humans are emotional, as always. They will return in a few rotations, begging for raid mission." "You misunderstand," Elena said calmly. "This is not a negotiation tactic. As we speak, all human ships are departing consortium space. All human outposts are ceasing trade. All communications channels will be closed." Now she had their attention. The Juxar representative's vision organs swiveled toward her. "Such an action would be unprecedented," said one of the Morican delegates, the first hint of uncertainty entering the chamber. "And futile," added Zolteric. "Where will you go? What will you do without our markets, our protection?" Elena smiled. "That's no longer your concern." Her comm unit chimed. "All personnel are aboard, Captain," Tariq reported. Earth vessels report ready for departure. This is a mistake, Captain Reyes. Sol Tarek's voice hardened. The consortium does not look kindly on those who reject its guidance. Alina's gaze was unwavering. That cuts both ways, Director. You've had 2 years to learn about humanity, but you've chosen to dismiss us instead. That was your mistake. She turned and walked from the chamber, ignoring the rising chorus of protests. By the time consortium security was mobilized, her shuttle had already departed for the horizon. Status report, Alina demanded as she entered the bridge. All 17 Earth vessels report ready, Lieutenant Sophia Dias replied. Consortium control is demanding we stand down. Their defense grid is powering up. Transmit our final message to Earth Command, then enact full communications blackout, Alina ordered. Navigation, set course for the Ta City jump point. Captain, Tariq warned. Consortium ships are moving to block our exit vector. Alina settled into her command chair. Let's show them our first surprise. Engage the Hawking drives. Throughout the human fleet, new engines, concealed until now, flared to life. The drives, based on principles of space-time manipulation that consortium scientists had deemed centuries beyond human capability, propelled the Earth ships to velocities that left the consortium vessels' founders. In the consortium command center, Director Sol Tarek watched in disbelief as the human fleet vanished from their sensors. Impossible, he murmured. Their technology was assessed at development level 3. Those were level 6 drives, at minimum. Director, a Juxar controller interrupted. We're detecting unusual activity across all human settlements and outposts in consortium space. On the main display, thousands of icons representing human facilities began to disappear from the network. What's happening? Sol Tarek demanded. They're going dark, Director. Not just communications. They're deploying some kind of localized dampening technology. We can't scan them, communicate with them, or even detect power signatures. Ambassador Kolvosh's tentacles twisted anxiously. They can't maintain this for long. They're too dependent on our infrastructure. But as hours stretched into days, and days into weeks, the human silence continued. Consortium ships dispatched to human settlements found them encased in opaque energy fields that defied analysis. Attempts to force entry were met with non-lethal, but highly effective defensive measures that damaged consortium vessels without casualties. No demands came. No communications at all. Just complete, resolute silence. After a month, Director Sol Tarek called an emergency session of the High Council. We may have miscalculated regarding the humans, he admitted reluctantly. Their technological capabilities were clearly disguised. Their strategic cohesion is unexpected. They are still primitives, Ambassador Kolvosh insisted, though with less conviction. They will break soon. But as the silence stretched into its second month, worry began to spread through the consortium. Markets fluctuated as human goods disappeared. Scientific projects stalled without human researchers, whose intuitive approach had proven unexpectedly valuable. And always, the unsettling question, what were the humans doing behind their barriers of silence? The silent revolution. 3 months into the human withdrawal, the Galactic Consortium faced an unprecedented situation. The silence from Earth and its colonies remained absolute. Consortium intelligence had no information on human activities. Economic models were failing as markets adjusted to the absence of human trade. Most disturbing to the High Council was the growing sentiment among other junior species. If humans could simply walk away, what was stopping others? In her private chamber, Elder Sith Lur of the Morrican Assembly reviewed the latest reports. As the most senior member of the High Council, she had seen civilizations rise and fall over her 300-year lifespan. None had ever challenged the consortium so effectively while spilling not a drop of blood. "Show me the human representative again," she instructed her eye. The hologram of Captain Alina Reyes appeared, footage from her final address to the council. "You've had 2 years to learn about humanity, but you've chosen to dismiss us instead. That was your mistake." Sithler's sensory frills quivered thoughtfully. What did we miss about these humans? Her meditation was interrupted as Director Solteric requested entrance. Elder, he greeted her, his crystalline form dulled with stress. We have a situation. A human vessel has appeared at the edge of the consortium central system. Just one? Sithler asked. Yes, it's unlike any human ship we've encountered before, and it's requesting to speak only with you. Within the hour, Sithler found herself in a secure communication chamber. The screen activated to reveal Captain Alina Reyes, though her surroundings were unlike any human vessel the consortium had catalogued. The technology visible behind her appeared far more advanced than anything humans had previously displayed. Elder Sithler. Alina nodded respectfully. Thank you for speaking with me directly. Captain Reyes, Sithler replied. Your silence has been instructive. The consortium is prepared to discuss revised terms for human reintegration. Alina smiled slightly. That's not why I've contacted you. I'm here to extend an invitation. The consortium's scientific and leadership delegation is invited to Earth for a demonstration. A demonstration of what? Of why partnership is preferable to subjugation, Alina replied. A single ship will be permitted to enter Earth space under diplomatic protocols. These coordinates provide the route. A data packet was transmitted. And if we decline, Sithler asked, then humanity will continue on its independent path. But I don't think you'll decline, Elder. You, unlike some of your colleagues, understand the value of adaptation. After the transmission ended, Solteric's agitation was visible in the rapid fluctuations of his crystalline structure. This is merely human theatrics. They cannot possibly have developed anything significant in 3 months. That assumes they began developing only after their withdrawal, Sithler observed. I will lead this delegation myself. 2 weeks later, the consortium diplomatic vessel Enlightened Discourse followed the provided coordinates to Earth. The route took them through regions of space that consortium charts had marked as empty or navigationally hazardous. Instead, they discovered stable transit corridors that reduced the journey by nearly half. As they approached Earth's solar system, their sensors detected something that caused the Viridian navigator to chitter in alarm. Elder, there's a structure around the fourth planet. The main view screen adjusted to show Mars, now encircled by an enormous ring. A construction megaproject that, by consortium engineering estimates, should have taken decades to complete. How long has this been here? Sithler demanded. Unknown, Elder. It doesn't appear on any of our previous scans of the system. As they continued inward, more surprises awaited. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter showed clear signs of large-scale mining operations. Near Earth's moon, a massive shipyard sprawled, with vessels under construction that dwarfed the largest human ships previously documented. They'd been hiding their true capabilities, one of the Juxar scientists whispered. For years. The Enlightened Discourse was directed to a space station in Earth orbit, another structure that hadn't existed 3 months earlier. There, they were greeted by Captain Rice and a delegation of human officials. Welcome to Earth space, Alina said. Allow me to introduce Admiral Chen, Earth Defense Force Commander. Admiral Chen stepped forward. Elder Sithler, honorable delegation. What you've seen represents just a fraction of what humanity has accomplished while maintaining the appearance of a development level 3 civilization. Not out of deception, but out of caution, a caution your treatment of us has justified. The delegation was escorted to an observation lounge with a view of Earth. Admiral Chen activated a display showing the historical timeline. Humanity has a long history of facing existential threats, he explained. We've nearly destroyed ourselves multiple times. When we reached the stars and encountered the consortium, we hoped for true partnership. Instead, we found a system designed to keep lesser species permanently subordinate. So we made a choice, Alina continued. On the surface, we played the role expected of us. Grateful, deferential newcomers. Meanwhile, we developed technologies and infrastructure in secret carefully shielded from your sensors. Impossible, Ambassador Kolvosh objected. Our monitoring systems can be fooled if you understand their principles, a human scientist interrupted. Which we did within our first 6 months of contact. Admiral Chen gestured to the view of Earth. A Hawking drives. The shield technology, this station, these aren't recent developments. We've been building and planning for years. Why reveal this now? Sith Lear asked, her frills extended in what humans had learned was an expression of intense curiosity. Because we still believe cooperation is better than isolation, Alina replied. But real cooperation, between equals, not the subjugation you offered. The consortium has existed for millennia, Director Zoltarek said stiffly. Our hierarchical structure has maintained peace throughout the galaxy. Peace built on inequality isn't genuine peace, Admiral Chen replied. It's just suppression waiting to fail. Sith Lear moved closer to the viewport, studying Earth thoughtfully. You could have revealed your power through aggression. Instead, you chose silence followed by invitation. Interesting. Violence is rarely the answer, Alina said. We've learned that lesson through bitter experience. Over the next 3 days, the consortium delegation was shown evidence of human advancement that shattered their previous assessments. Quantum computing beyond level 7 capabilities. Medical technologies that could regenerate entire limbs. Energy generation systems that made their own look primitive. On the final day, Sith Lear requested a private meeting with Alina and Admiral Chen. In my 3 centuries, the elder began, I have seen many civilizations. Some rise slowly, some advance quickly but destroy themselves. Rarely have I encountered one that consciously hid its progress while carefully observing its potential adversaries. She produced a small device and activated it, creating a privacy field around them. The consortium began much like humanity, innovative, bold. Over time, we became bureaucratic, hierarchical, fearful of change. Some of us have recognized this stagnation for centuries, but lacked the leverage to force reform. You're saying our withdrawal provided that leverage, Admiral Chen surmised. Precisely. The economic disruption alone has been significant, but more importantly, you've shattered the myth of consortium technological supremacy. Other species are watching closely. What are you proposing, Elder? Alina asked. A genuine alliance, not your reintegration as a subordinate species, but a partnership that begins the transformation of the consortium itself. Sith Lear's sensory frills expanded fully. It will not be easy. There will be resistance from those who benefit from the current order. Nothing worthwhile ever is easy, Alina replied. But humanity would welcome a true partnership. 2 weeks later, the enlightened discourse returned to consortium space. Elder Sith Lear addressed the High Council with the human delegation beside her. The humans have not been developing weapons to use against us, she announced. They have been advancing on all fronts, technologically and socially, while we complacently believed in our own superiority. She gestured to Captain Reyes. Humanity offers us a choice. Continue to treat emerging species as subordinates until they inevitably rebel, or transform the consortium into a true cooperative of equals. The chamber erupted in debate, but Alina noticed something important. Several council members who had previously dismissed humans now listened attentively. The seed was planted. Later, aboard the Horizon, she stood at the viewport with Admiral Chen, watching the consortium station. Do you think it will work? She asked. Reform rarely happens overnight, he replied. But we've created the conditions for change. Plus, we've shown the galaxy something important. What's that? Admiral Chen smiled. That sometimes, the most powerful statement is silence. Around them, human crew members prepared for departure. The silence had been broken, but humanity's message had been delivered. They had earned respect not through conquest or subjugation, but through strategic restraint and carefully revealed strength. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again.